Streaming now.
What is knob polishing?
You're gonna make me say this. I am a neglected man.
I like to think that I look like a jack, even though my name's really Bob.
Does he have danglers or something?
Well, it's time to go do them lighthouse duties.
Sitting in the cheese. Sitting in the cheese at the old Walmart to cool off.
That should be the headline. Man tasered in the nuts after stealing beef.
Yeah, but you're not gonna sit in the cheese. You're not gonna sit in the cheese, and you're not gonna put ribeyes down your pants either.
House cleaning is secondary. So what is the Viagra triangle?
Possibly we aid in your digestion.
I don't know if his little hand is smaller than his little ears or what.
Aw, well, maybe he has a syndrome.
Want to go check out my RV? It's parked right around the corner.
Because I'm pretty sure that I saw some moose knuckle.
No.
There is absolutely some moose knuckle going on.
My swampy friend. What the hell is a swampy friend?
I know. So they're not going to get any scraping on their shaft.
Yes, I'm going to do a downward dog.
Okay, pretty lady. You had on those gosh darn sexy leather-looking shorts.
Ladies and gentlemen, and assholes, gather around. It's time for another action-packed episode of
Trouble in Paradise.
Hi, I'm Nigel Kent.
And I'm Jazmine Star.
And welcome to Trouble in Paradise.
Where we talk about everything amazing, awesome, auspicious, and sometimes even ass-tastic here in Southwest Florida.
Frequently ass-tastic.
Yes.
I think we do that just about every week. Thank you to everybody who is watching our live stream on either IGTV or on YouTube. Of course, I believe that on IGTV they see a green screen.
They do see a green screen.
And on YouTube they see whatever they see. We're going to have to find out how it turns out. But
IGTVers, you can always switch over and follow us then on the Trouble in Paradise. Subscribe, and you can watch us live without the green screen.
You know, I think the view is actually better on IGTV because my head is halfway concealed by my laptop on IGTV until we figure out how to do one stream to both platforms. In the meantime, Jazmine Star is drinking a Mountain Dew, which is also green. Although you can't tell it if you're looking at the video because it's blending right into the chroma key. And so you just see the background floating through her Mountain Dew. Tonight's show is packed with some awesome stuff. But before we get to that, you want to tell our listeners and watchers how to get a hold of us?
Yes. You can get a hold of us at Tipcast239 on Twitter, Trouble239 everywhere else, on Instagram, on
wherever we're at. I don't know. Have you heard about this new social platform called Parler?
No.
It's supposed to be. I guess it's supposed to be like a free speech sort of Facebook alternative.
Oh.
Yeah, we're not there yet. But,
no.
Yeah.
But you can also catch us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher.
Spotify is the big one now.
Yep.
They seem to be taking over the world.
If you want to watch us, you can watch us on YouTube at Trouble in Paradise.
But let's face it, they really only want to watch one of us, and I don't blame them one bit.
Nigel, if anybody saw our mask, who wore it best?
Who wore it best? Okay, well, it's up to the internet to decide.
Right.
They always get things right.
Right. So if anybody wants to go over to Trouble239 on Instagram, you can see Nigel and I.
Topless. Both of us are
topless.
We're wearing nothing but a couple of face masks over our... Is it okay to say nipples?
Yes.
Okay.
What's wrong with nipples?
I like nipples. I'm a fan of nipples.
I love nipples and breasts.
Don't you live in Naples, Florida?
I do live in Naples. But it's really hot in Naples. It doesn't get very nipply there.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't get a tit-bit nipply at all.
No, never.
But so you got these small monuments. Since everybody's going around tearing down monuments, we thought we would reenact what all of the protesters are doing. There, the monument has been knocked over.
Oh, no. Not my girl power. Gonna stay strong.
So we're actually going to award somebody a trophy this evening in a special grudge match edition of True Factor Bullcrap.
Yes.
During which Jazmine and I will compete to find out who is the ultimate True Factor and who is the ultimate Bullcrapper. We also have the return of Banglish, which is just a little game we play to see exactly how bad our English really, really is. Because we don't speak the best English. We don't talk real good. And then, of course, we've got the usual only in Florida nonsense, and there's some real doozies in that department today. But first, don't you think it would be a good idea for us to air some grievances?
Yes, absolutely.
What are some of your absolute pet peeves?
Oh,
I bet I can guess some of your pet peeves.
please indulge. You, I think, are well aware of many of my pet peeves.
Well, do your friends ever text you out of the blue?
Hey.
Hey.
Not necessarily my friends, as it is. I believe it does say. Does it say that we're divorcees on our? Yeah. Anyway, hey. Yeah. Don't text me. Hey.
Well, what does that mean when somebody texts you that? It means they're getting ready to ask you for something, right?
Right. So just say what you freaking want.
Yeah.
Like, and aside from hey, it's like, what am I going to do? Hey, back. And
Right.
then it's like, and then you wait for their response. It's really retarded. So, yeah, that's definitely a pet peeve of mine. That, and along with the people that want to stream text you like one sentence at a time.
What does that mean, stream text? Talk to me about that.
Hey, how are you? What are you doing today?
Oh, you mean like all
Are
as
you
separate
busy?
texts?
Yeah. Boom, boom, boom. And your phone is like freaking blowing up. Put what you want and what you want to say in one message. And don't
Okay.
send me a book.
I gotcha. So you don't want a whole bunch of individual text messages?
No.
And because then your phone just keeps going off.
I know.
As soon as you think you're done, bzz, another one comes in, right?
Well, and it's pointless. It's, yeah.
But you also don't want a screen full. I'll add on to that pet peeve. You know what I hate is when I ask somebody in a text message, I'll ask them like 2 or 3 things. And then they text back and only answer the last
One,
question. Yeah, and it's always the last one. My son is actually pretty good for doing that.
I've heard he's narrowed that one down pretty well.
So 1 sentence per text message. If you're going to send a bunch of them, make sure they're all together, but don't send me a screen full.
Right.
What if somebody really needs to send you a lot of stuff? They should just probably call you.
Call me.
Okay.
Call me.
Well, that's advice for interacting with Jazmine Star, ladies
Jazmine,
and
yes. Just like Blondie says, call me.
What about those friends who text you every once in a while? They kind of show up out of the blue, like a month or 2 has gone by, and then they're like, "Hey," and you're like, "Okay, what does this guy want?"
Exactly. Well, if it's a guy.
Or a girl.
Yeah.
So what does it end up being usually?
If I get a rando, it's usually like a guy.
Oh, really? Just checking in? Wants to find out if you're single yet?
Hey. Well, if anybody knows me, they know.
Well, what about speaking of randos, what about that friend that kind of checks in every once in a while to find out if you still want to buy some oil of Olay or some supplements?
Oh my God. Yes. Yeah. That's usually like the online thing. It's like Instagram is notorious for that. But, for people that hit you up on like Facebook Messenger and they're like, I'll have months that go by where I don't even communicate with this person in particular shall remain nameless.
So this is one person in particular that does this to you.
There's a few people that, I understand they're trying to, make a little money and everything, but yeah, don't freaking, if I'm not responding to you, I'm not interested. Even whenever I've said, now is not a good time. I'm like, I don't want this. And then they'll hold off for a couple months and then they come back and they want to just checking in with you to see.
Well, what happens if you respond to them? Then you've put it in writing.
I know.
So what do you do? Like, do you just say thanks, but no thanks again? Or what do you do?
And they're like, well, now I understand. Now is probably not a good time. I'll check in with you later. And I'm just like, I don't know. I'm not a good person at saying no.
So how do you, that's a great thing. Like, what's your technique for saying no when you really don't want to say no? Like, you don't want to let them down too hard. But what do you do? What do you do in that situation?
I will admit I am unhealthy. I feel like I owe people explanations for shit that is really none of their business.
Yeah.
And it really shouldn't be that way, but I don't know. I need to just get more assertive. I know you're very assertive. I need to take lessons, but
oh yeah. Once in a while. Sometimes I'm too assertive, and people just think I'm being mean.
No.
So how about what about the issue of cursive? How about cursive? Like, speaking of putting things in writing, like, what's your attitude on cursive and what's going on with it right now?
Oh, you mean that we don't teach that in school anymore? You know what, though? I mean, we never know what happens in.
So do you have a problem with the fact that we don't teach it in school anymore?
Well, we'll see what happens in August. I may be homeschooling again. Lord only knows what's going to happen. In that case, I'm going to teach my children cursive because that is something that, I mean, everything, is it's all becoming electronic. And e-sign this but how do you sign a check? How do you sign a legal document?
Yeah.
How do
you sign an autograph? How do you do anything?
Well, I know, really.
How do you decorate a cake without cursive?
I can't even walk down the street without somebody asking me for an autograph.
You do get accosted quite a bit.
But no, please. But no, it's like, what's going to happen in the future, like, of cake decorating?
Yeah.
Either like once the people who have learned how to write in cursive can no longer perform their duties as cake decorators, are we gonna like turn into like print cakes?
It's gonna be like all caps. They're gonna come up with some kind of printer that just does it automatically.
It's just some
kind of edible ink printer.
And then if you do get a cake that's written in cursive, it's gonna be like this coveted cake because it's like they'll be like it's a lost art.
It's not even. And
then they'll be like, what is this, like hieroglyphics? I can't read this shit.
Well, that's because it's not going to be people decorating it. It's going to be like you go on a website, you tell the website or the app what you want the cake to say.
Right.
And then it just comes out of a chute in the store and you go pick it up. Like it's going to be all impersonal.
Well,
just like everything else.
But we're already seeing that. What about, and I know this is something that you hate. What about
we sound so curmudgeonly, don't we? We sound like a bunch of old people.
What about when you go and I'm just saying the establishment. When you go to Walmart now and you can't even, it's all self-checkout. Like if you're lucky, the 9 items or less, but that's where they get you because first of all, who the fuck goes to Walmart and actually walks out of there with like 9 items or less? You're not a girl. And
Okay. I guess guys do that then.
no, I not just, but I mean, it's a trap.
Okay.
First of all, the place is a trap, but
It's also a dump.
even if I have 9 items, like I don't want to check it out. I don't want to check it out.
No, you're there because you're cheap and you don't want to spend money or effort. Right? That's why people go to Walmart. Not you personally. I mean everybody, because I am the same way. If I go buy air filters, I don't want to spend an extra $1 for them, so I go to Walmart. I also don't want to spend extra time doing some other asshole's work in the checkout line, which is that's like the whole basis of Mike Marino's comedy routine. He talks about being the self-checkout guy.
That was so great. Yeah.
So for the uninitiated, Mike Marino is a really good stand-up comedian from New York. And I'm not really a big fan of New York style because it's all insult comedy and stuff, and it's really raw.
No, you just haven't
funny
seen.
Though. He's funny. His Walmart bit.
Thank you for, as you would always call me out. Thank you for now insulting all the New York City comedians.
Oh boy, here we go. We just lost the rest of our audience.
Here we go.
Nigel Kent's such an insensitive asshole. He insulted a New Yorker. Like they can't handle that.
They've never been.
They wake up first thing in the morning and tell their own mom to fuck off. Like that's what they do in New York, man.
It's a term of endearment.
Yes, indeed. So no more cursive on cake decorating.
Right.
Well, it's self-checkout. The other thing that's kind of like self-checkout is when you have to sit through one of those IVR trees, like one of those message on hold trees while you're waiting to talk to an actual person that can't help you.
Yeah.
You get to interact with a computer that can't help you.
Yeah.
Don't you think the whole purpose of that is just to
They
keep
never
you in a holding
understand
pattern?
me.
Oh, okay.
Like, I really, and that will frustrate the shit out of me.
If you would like to talk to a representative, please say representative.
Representative.
I'm sorry. We seem to be having a problem here.
Representative.
There are 3 options available.
Representative.
I'm sorry. We seem to be having a problem here.
I would like to speak to a representative. And then I start hitting
If
0.
you would like to speak to a representative, please help me understand the nature of your call. If you're...
I know. It's like...
By the end of it, you're just like... Fuck.
You used to be able to bypass that and hit 0, and now they've gotten too smart for that, and they just
Well, there's a couple websites out there that have before you call whoever it is, the customer service department, the credit card, the IRS, whoever you're calling, there's actually a website where you can look it up ahead of time, and it'll tell you exactly what to press as soon as you get on the phone to get somebody on the horn like that.
Really?
Yeah.
Now you're telling me this now.
I just found out about it.
I've known you for 10 months now, and you have yet.
Yes, yesterday, as you pointed out earlier, was the 10-month anniversary of our meeting.
Yes.
Which was fateful.
It was.
Yes, it was. Quite fateful. You're very loud tonight, Jazmine. I've had to adjust your level twice now.
Really?
Yes. But please keep being loud. I really enjoy it when you yell. What do you say we move on to some Banglish?
Sounds good to me.
We introduced the concept of Banglish last week, or last episode, I should say. And Banglish is where we just basically see how bad our English actually is, because there's a lot of words in the English language that apparently we're not familiar with. And the quickest way to find out just how unfamiliar we are is to play a round of Banglish. So,
Banglish.
We want to do ladies first, or we want to do guys first?
Let's see. Let's do guys first. I feel like I always go first.
All right. Well, what is my first word?
Your first word is bloviate.
Bloviate?
Bloviate. And for those that don't know how this game is played, we've given each other 5 words and
5 nonsensical words that are actually real words.
They are real words. But we've only allowed about 30 seconds per word to come up with a sentence.
Yep.
And we watch each other do it to make sure that
we don't exceed our allotted time.
Right.
Bloviate.
Yes.
Here's my sentence. We went to a dinner party with a guy who just wouldn't stop bloviating about his miniature horses.
What?
I think I might have known this word. I might have actually known this one.
Yeah.
Did I get it kind of right?
You did kind of get it right.
Kind of means somebody that won't shut up about something?
People who talk for a long period of time or who inflate their story to make themselves sound better.
Actually, this is based on a true story. I really did meet a guy one time that would...
Sassy? The miniature horse?
Sassy, the miniature horse from Bonita Springs, Florida. Home of Trouble in Paradise. But yeah, Sassy, the miniature horse. I actually have a picture of my dog, Hash Brown, meeting Sassy.
Yeah, I can't believe that you... Oh, wow.
Well, I got one right. Okay, whatever. It's not a challenge, right? This isn't a challenge. This is just for fun.
Okay.
So, your first word, are we taking turns? Is that how we're doing it?
Yes.
Your first word is doodle sack. Doodle sack. She's pissed because I went out of order. That's what's going on.
Okay, so
that's what that sound means.
I was like, that one. That's easy.
Doodle sack.
Doodle sack. That's when a man accidentally sits on his balls and they touch his crack. It's a doodle sack.
You think a doodle sack is when a guy,
yeah,
like when you're going in for a fast landing on the toilet seat because you got to get there, and you accidentally clip the sack on the way down and squeeze them like a tea bag against the seat?
No, it's like we're anywhere. Like you go and you sit down and your ball sack goes in your crack. It's a doodle sack.
Oh, you mean like you're sitting down going forward?
Yeah.
Like you're jumping on a horse, all of a sudden your nuts are in your butt.
Yes. A doodle sack.
A doodle sack. This is so much better than the actual meaning. I don't even want to bother with the real life meaning because it's so not fun compared to that. In real life, a doodle sack is an old English word for Scottish bagpipe, which is, of course, a musical instrument.
I know what a Scottish bagpipe is. Thank you. And I was way off.
Hey, I wasn't. I was saying that for the benefit of our Bangladeshi listeners who aren't familiar with Banglish.
Banglish.
And by the way, before we move on, did you know that the real meaning of Banglish, apparently, I've discovered through keyword analytics, is a mashup of Bangladeshi and English, kind of like Spanglish.
Right. So no offense to people who speak Banglish. We've just devised our own game.
We don't mean to insult your fake language, but we have our own fake language.
Well, I speak some Spanglish, whenever I'm at work. So
¿Qué pasa?
That's actual Spanish.
Mi casa?
Dos
tacos supremos de pollo suave?
Yeah, never mind. Okay, your next word is arenaceous.
Arenaceous.
Yes.
Arenaceous.
Mm-hmm.
Honey, Erin's clothes are always dirty. Her makeup is too thick and she smells. She is so arenaceous. No?
No,
not even close?
Not even close.
Oh, boy.
Arenaceous refers to something or someone who resembles a hedgehog.
Can we get that? So Stacy Steele would appreciate that one.
I thought of Stacy.
At Stacy Steele 13.
Yes.
Steele with 3 E's. In case you want to follow her, she's our comedian friend.
STEELE 13.
Yes. Stacy ST. She needs to just get a new thing because you have to explain it every time how to spell it. STACEY STEELE 13. The easiest part is the number. Anyway, right. She's a lot of fun, and she has a
hedgehog named Fiona, and Fiona has her own Instagram page as well, so you can follow Fiona the Hedgehog. But yeah, I thought of Stacy whenever I saw arenaceous, and then followed by that, I thought of Ron Jeremy.
Okay, what's the actual definition again? We blew past that.
Refers to something or someone who resembles a hedgehog.
Yeah.
And of course I went. First there was Stacy, and then there was porn. So.
Well, Ron Jeremy, his hair is always back, and that kind of reminds me of a hedgehog.
Well,
he's quite hairy.
That's his nickname.
I think he's equipped in other ways that perhaps hedgehogs are not, though.
That's his nickname, though, is the hedgehog.
Oh, is it?
Yes.
Well, I don't know anything about porn.
Oh.
I guess we should, I guess
Moving
True Factor Bullcrap. I just gave you the next category to destroy me with. Okay, your next Banglish word is gentacular.
Gentacular. Winning that game of Jenga was fucking gentacular last night.
So your definition is like a good Jenga time would be gentacular.
Yes.
Is this a Jenga specific word then?
Yeah.
Okay. Why not Jenga-tacular?
Well, because that's just a little bit too wordy, so I just shortened it to gentacular.
There's too many syllables. Well, gentacular, again, I'm sorry to disappoint you, but the real life definition is pertaining to breakfast.
What?
I know, right?
That's it?
Yeah, pertaining to breakfast. So it's early in the morning. Gentacular. I need to get some bacon. Gentacular. Pertaining to breakfast. I guess.
I'm going to have to remember that one.
It's probably, that's probably like maybe more of like a shop term, like a gastronomic term that chefs use, or maybe college chefs, like instructor chefs.
Or surfer chefs.
Gentacular,
dude. Okay. Your next word is Widdershins.
This one I really struggled with for 29.9 seconds. Widdershins. But here's what I came up with. When I first saw my girlfriend, I was so nervous. I had such a case of the Widdershins that I could barely manage to introduce myself.
Aw, not even close.
Oh, no.
Widdershins actually means another way to say something is moving counterclockwise or in the wrong direction.
Oh, that's got to be some kind of British thing.
Widdershins.
I thought that's weird, like, because the British always say anti-clockwise or anti-clockwise instead of counterclockwise. Like, really?
Or Widdershins.
Or Widdershins?
Widdershins.
I'm going to have to check with Martin Geddes on that one and find out if because he's like the only British guy that I've spoken to today. To find out. I don't know if he identifies as British, though. He does. He lives in London, though, so he would know about Widdershins. Your next word is chinwag.
I felt like I was in the scene of The Godfather when that dude gave me the chin wag.
Which scene of The Godfather are we talking about?
When he's like...
Can you do that into the mic?
Now I can't do it. You got me broken up now.
So you were like, what does he say?
Well, I was just doing the gesturing.
No.
The gesturing.
Okay, so
like
is the chin wag referring to the tone of voice?
No.
Or
the gesture.
Oh,
gesture.
Isn't that like the Italian flip off? That's like dropping a bird on somebody, but in like mobster style, right?
Well, yes.
All my Italian friends, please chime in and correct me here because I'm sitting here Irish as can be and I have no clue. But I have seen the movie, and this is supposed to be an insult, right?
So, give it to me.
An actual chin wag. Again, we're talking about English. A chin wag.
Is that like a "how you doing"? Because that was the other way I was going with
like
it.
Some kind of greeting?
I was like, either it's like this or it's like this. Like, how you doing?
It means a friendly conversation in English colloquialism. So, do you have time for a chin wag? Want to sit down and talk?
Forget about it.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Your next word is Gardyloo.
Gardyloo?
Gardyloo.
You know, when Bill the security guard really needs to drop a load, he gets a book to read and locks himself up in the Gardyloo.
You're kind of close.
Kind of close.
Kind of close. The Lou gave it away.
I recognize the Lou. I mean, that's a British thing too. Gotta go to Lou.
This is actually a Scottish term. It's a funny and gross. This is what people in Edinburgh would shout out of their windows, warning people before they would toss their excrement out of their slop buckets.
Oh, so they would actually...
So they would give you a warning, and they would be, Gardyloo!
Did they sound like they were from Arkansas when they did it, or...
How would a Scottishman say that?
Oh, gosh. I'm going to have to... I mean, I think they just call them Scots. I don't think you have to say Scottishman. There goes the last one or two people in our audience just left for good. Scottishman.
Good old Scottish.
No, that's good, though. At least they have the common courtesy to let you know when some shit's flying your way.
Right. So
that's a new thing, man. We could stand to readopt that technique and that tradition.
Hallelujah.
We're going to have to put that in the vernacular of the show. Okay, your next one is my personal favorite in the list. The word is codswallop.
I hear you can find videos on how to codswallop your man pretty good.
Okay. Can you hit me with that one more time, please?
Oh my God. Ooh. I hear you can find videos on how to codswallop your man pretty good.
How to codswallop your man pretty good. So you think that codswallop has something to do with cooking?
No.
What then? Oh, okay.
Cod.
Oh, it's a sexual cod.
Yeah,
oh, like cod piece.
Yes, a cod swallop. Wait, oh my gosh. Do I have to you only give me 30 seconds, so it's not like it can get that.
How many of your guesses, how many of your examples on Banglish actually have to do with sex, though? Like, you're the most perverted co-host I've ever had in my whole life.
I'm so sorry for that.
That's okay. I don't mind.
I was going to say.
I don't think our audience minds a whole lot either. But anyway.
I hope I don't offend too much.
Yeah. Well, if you don't offend somebody, then you're doing something wrong, right?
Very true.
What's up next?
What does it mean?
Oh, what does codswallop actually mean?
Yeah.
Didn't we do that last time where I skipped 3 of them and didn't tell you the definition because I liked your definition so much? Codswallop means the equivalent of saying something is nonsense. So if you call something codswallop, that's kind of like horse shit. Codswallop.
It's codswallop.
Yeah. So your answer was codswallop. Has nothing to do with sexual activities, young lady. That's it. That's all I got.
Your next word. I just like the way it. Bibble.
Bibble.
A bibble.
Bibble. Before I give you my example, can I tell you a quick anecdote?
Yes.
There's a character in Star Wars Episode 1 called C.O. Bibble. Actually, I think he's in Episode 1 and 2. He's,
really?
Yeah. Anyway.
What does he do?
He's a senator. I believe he's like the second senator from Naboo. And he's trying to warn the queen that they're being invaded by those crazy alien guys. Whose names I can't remember, but they're from the Trade Federation. Okay, quickly, back on topic before we lose more people. Bibble. So my example of bibble is, when Bob talks, he always sprays it. He really needs to be more conscious of his bibble.
Again, you're close.
I'm close, but no cigar.
No, like I'm actually impressed that you hit the general ballpark.
I'm in the right sector?
Yeah, bibble, people who eat and or drink noisily.
Ew.
Yeah. So if you
Like a loud mouth breathing chewer?
yeah, that would be a bibble.
Ew. So the sound is the bibble or the person?
The person that does it is called it's referred to, yeah, it's a bibble.
Oh man, I'm glad I don't hang out with any bibbles. I did have a boss one time that used to have like I'm going to throw in a bonus word here, gum-nom. You ever heard the word gum-nom?
No.
That's where you get those little stalactites of spit that form between your lip when you open your
thinking
mouth.
that. Yes, I had a teacher that used to always have that. When he would talk, it was like that, like
Yeah. Now
in
that-
white string.
supposedly it's caused by nervousness. It's excess protein that forms in the mouth due to nervousness. I watched a film about...
White stuff caused by protein in the mouth.
Yes. No, not that kind of protein. See, here you go. All right. Your last word, young lady, Jasmine Star, your last word is expurgafactor.
Expurgafactor. If you take Ally for weight loss and you eat Taco Bell, you will definitely have an expurgafactor if you try to fart.
Okay. So what you contend is that expurgafactor is the medical term for shart.
Well, I thought it was pronounced expurge factor. So I didn't know. I was like, expurge. And I was like, well, yeah, it would be like the equivalent of a fart or a shart.
I'm assuming that it is. It could be expurge factor, but I think it's expurgafactor.
You're probably right. Your vocabulary is a bit more vast than my own.
So an expurgafactor is something that awakens you.
Oh.
Okay, so
A shart would definitely...
Shart could be an expurgafactor.
It definitely would be an awakening.
Oh, boy. It could be anything from a chirping bird to a noisy neighbor or an alarm clock or a shart. And if your shart doesn't wake you up, then you're in for it in the morning. We had one extra bonus word, but when we were doing our show prep, we both either came across the word or prepared it.
Right.
Do you remember what word that was?
No.
I believe that would be a snollygoster.
Yeah, snollygoster.
A snollygoster.
Yes.
Let's compare definitions. Do you remember what your snollygoster definition is?
I know it was typically referred to as a politician.
Okay.
Like, or had like somebody who I don't remember. I just Are you that frustrated that you're breaking your pen now?
Yeah, man, I just broke my pen. Go away, pen. So that's pretty close, actually. Politician. This is what I came up with from Webster's. A person who has intelligence but no principles.
Oh.
Also known as a gaslighter, too.
Oh.
Snollygoster.
There's a lot of those lately.
Yeah. Oh, quite a few. Yeah.
All
I think
over
we're
the
being
place.
gaslit on a massive scale right now. I'm going to switch over to our brand new screen cap scene.
I just want to shout out here on IGTV. I see Precious Frito's on.
Precious Frito, IGTV. Good to see you. Precious Frito 3.
What's up? Whoop, whoop.
Yep. Probably because our YouTube stream may not be working. I haven't confirmed that yet because we haven't been able to hire a full-time producer because we're not wealthy yet, but we're trying to be. So I'm switching over to screen cap and I want to share this image with you. So you can tell me what you think about it. What do you think you're looking at here?
I am looking at somebody that looks like they're dressed like the Grim Reaper on top of a lifeguard tower.
Yep, that's pretty much it. That's
Yeah,
pretty much
I
it.
mean, it's
Except where's the lifeguard? Like if that's your lifeguard, if your lifeguard is the Grim Reaper, you're in trouble, right?
I mean, what are they trying? What's the message here? What are they trying to send out?
Well, this is only in Florida. This kind of stuff doesn't happen anywhere else. And I just want to share with you a story about this particular Grim Reaper. He's spreading a message. The Florida man who visits the state's reopened beaches dressed as death itself wants Governor Ron DeSantis to require the public to wear masks as the state continues to see a spike in positive COVID-19 cases, which it doesn't actually mean cases. It means test readings, but I'm not even going there right now.
Nope.
Daniel Ohlfelder, a lawyer who sued the state's Republican governor earlier this year, says he prematurely opened beaches, has spent the last several weeks warning beachgoers of the coronavirus's rising danger while dressed as a Grim Reaper. That sounds like a awesomely productive thing for a lawyer to be doing.
Right.
Complete with a dark cloak and a giant Sith.
Yeah. He's got, yeah. He does have a mask on and he's got gloves on, but I love how he's barefoot.
Well, he's at the beach. What do you want?
Well, I mean, you know, if you're going to really, you know, make a point.
He could get worms.
He could get pinworms and then have an itchy butt.
Oh, man. Well, you know, itchy butt does come from pinworms.
Right,
I'm told. I'm told.
You could, yeah, you do the tape test.
Okay, so this guy...
the flashlight test.
This guy, what do you think? I mean, horse's ass or not?
You know what? The people just trying to...
Sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself here.
People are just trying to... They just got to... They need to stop. This is horse shit.
Okay, why isn't the guy out there trying a case or defending somebody that needs justice? Or because if he's going to go on the beach and make an ass out of himself...
Maybe it was the weekend and
let's get him on the podcast.
Can you defend your position on why you were standing on this?
Oh, man. I feel like I would get into a fight with him.
No, but I would like to throw as much like legal jargon and like the Legally Blonde style as I possibly could have. I object.
I object. Move to strike.
Yeah. I mean... How long did you wear that for? Like, you had to have been like really, really hot up there. Weren't you really, really hot?
Dude, you look Muslim. Oh, yeah. That didn't come from my mind. I mean, for real though, he's got like a full robe on, like with a black cloak. Like he could be in Diablo. He could be in the video game, right? So
these people.
So what is this guy's name? Let's make sure we find him online. Ohlfelder, Daniel Ohlfelder, Uhlfelder, a lawyer who apparently has nothing better to do than dress up as the Grim Reaper and go around making an ass of himself at Florida beaches.
That's the kind of attorney that I would definitely want to hire to represent me.
You know, I mean, I would hire that guy to like go trick or treating with me.
I would hire that guy for maybe unlawful death or like, you know, medical malpractice, negligence. You know, he
clearly has his shit together. I wouldn't hire him at all, ever, for any reason. I wouldn't hire him to flip burgers for me. Okay.
No, because no.
Oh, I'm just, no.
No, he probably didn't. Those are probably the only pair of gloves he has.
Well, listen, even lawyers can be homeless. Let's try not to judge.
That's true.
He dressed up in his Grim Reaper suit that he still had left over from his 19th birthday, the last time he went trick-or-treating. Anyway, I got the wrong picture. I got this picture, and then it's from a story that I didn't even end up using. So,
well, they are very beautiful.
They are beautiful birds. Yes, they are.
Look at those macaws. Aren't they pretty?
Macaws, and then there's some kind of other parrot on the end there. I don't know what kind it is, but
yeah. Moving
on. This fella's not bad looking. He's not a terrible looking guy, but that's too bad that it's his mugshot. And what do you think this guy did?
He has great cheekbones.
He does have good cheekbones.
Yeah.
His beard needs a little bit of trimming.
Yeah.
How else would you describe this guy?
He's not wearing orange, so I would say that if this is a mugshot, that
It's his booking photo.
right, it's definite. I'm gonna go with he did some kind of misdemeanor.
All right, he's a black dude though, right?
Yeah.
Okay. For those not watching on YouTube, he's a black fella.
Yeah.
Or African American, depending on how bent you are about the way people refer to each other these days. But his name is Ian. Ian.
Yeah. Okay.
Which is a really, really Irish name. And I've never, ever heard of a black dude named Ian before. And maybe I'm just, not worldly. I've also never heard of a black dude named Ryan. Is there a black guy out there named Ryan?
Yes.
Which one? See, you can't name it.
It's a HIPAA violation.
Oh, okay. Okay. So there is really.
I hear all kinds of names that surprise, there's all kinds of.
Yeah, but you'd never seen a white dude named Jaquel, though.
No, but we do call Jacqueline Jaqueline at work.
Everybody does that. That's standard.
Aaron.
All right, so this dude, what do you think this guy did? Like, with that look on his face, and what do you think he did?
I'm not even going to speculate on this one.
This guy.
Because I have a feeling it's stupid.
No.
Okay. No.
Call Guinness, because this guy is the only guy in recorded history in the state of Florida to have murdered two people on the same day in two different counties. Yes, he's a world record holder. His name is Ian Jackson of Miramar City, was arrested Wednesday. Jackson is accused in connection with the murders of Roy Gissendanner in Broward County and O'Neill William in Miami-Dade County. Of course, Broward County and Miami-Dade might as well be the same county, so that's kind of bending the rules a little bit. Gissendanner, 63, was found by Broward County deputies on June 22nd with 2 gunshot wounds, including one to his head. He was pronounced dead at the scene.
Is that a double tap? Is he an assassin?
I have no idea.
One to the head, one to the
I could be, because
boom.
The guy doesn't look like he's intoxicated a whole lot. He looks pretty healthy, actually. While investigating, deputies learned that Jackson was driving Gissendanner's Ford Taurus. Deputies then learned that the Miami Gardens Police Department was investigating the fatal shooting of William, the other guy, at a gas station in Miami-Dade County. The incident was captured on surveillance footage and shows Jackson arriving at the gas station in a vehicle stolen from Gissendanner, where he is seen confronting a second victim. Each department filed warrants for Jackson's arrest. Jackson was arrested in Broward County and blah, 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 blah. But that's pretty crazy, right? 2 guys in one day. I mean, where does your brain have to go to where you're like, you know what? I don't even care. The one guy's dead. I'm going to go kill this other guy. And this guy doesn't look like he's freaking drugged out of his mind either.
No.
He doesn't. He looks pretty straight. So what's going on here?
I don't know, man. That's just, what a downer.
Yeah, that's a major downer. I'm trying to pull something positive out of the story here.
What is positive?
It's got good cheekbones. That's what you mentioned earlier.
Well, yeah.
Look at his cheekbones. Got good cheekbones.
But, that's awful. But I mean, you know what? Like, right now, I mean, obviously the murders. No.
It's against the 10 Commandments and the law.
But there's... And I'm not saying in this case, obviously, but there's so much desperation right now. This week, somebody that we know closely had their purse stolen out of their car, and then talking to somebody.
Yeah, petty crime is out of control right now.
At the same time, within a few minutes, another gentleman's like, "Oh yeah, well, just here, within probably a 10-minute drive from that location. He had his cast net taken when he went to the bathroom.
And this was all in Bonita Springs. This was just around the corner from us, people.
And what you're stealing a dude's cast net, and it's like a purse getting snagged, and it's just like, a lot of people are just desperate right now. I don't know the circumstances of this gentleman.
Doesn't sound like it. To kill somebody though, that's,
no.
What in the world are you protecting if you're killing somebody?
No, but
I think he was on the run after the first killing, and then realized, you know what, I'm not going to get away unless I do the second one. That's just my theory. We'll have to look up the video from this, because apparently there's surveillance video, but it hasn't been released. So if they move to convict this guy, then they'll probably have to show it. A lot of people get killed every year by that.
Well, we are the lightning capital of the world.
Florida.
Yes.
Bonita Springs, Florida. What is it about lightning? You hear these stories about lightning strikes, and there's this weird stat out there that if you are struck by lightning at any time during your life, you're like 1,000 times more likely to be struck a second time than anybody else.
What? Really?
Yeah, that's weird as shit. But yeah, you read all these stories about people that have been struck many, many times, or 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times in their lives, and it's like, how are you still alive, bro? Like, but yeah, people are somehow strangely magnetic when it comes to lightning. It track lightning strikes, so it kind of negates that lightning never strikes twice in the same place.
Well, and your chances of getting struck by lightning are higher than winning the lottery, but yet there's also that weird statistic that people who have won the lottery
win the lottery again.
Yes, it's very
It's
like,
bizarre.
what are
It's
the
like
odds?
Cosmic lightning.
Cosmic lightning, cosmic winning.
Yeah.
I would like the cosmic winning to come our way. That would be lovely.
Speaking of cosmic winning, we've got about 7 minutes left before our IGTV stream cuts off.
Yep.
So we want to invite everybody to join us on YouTube. And if you can't get to us live, then definitely follow our podcast on Spotify.
Yep.
And on Stitcher and Apple Podcasts. Follow us on Twitter at Tipcast239 and at Trouble239 everywhere else, which includes Instagram. Of course, Jazmine Star is on Twitter at Jazmine Star 2 R's.
Yes.
239. And that's Jazmine with a Z. And I'm Nigel Kent 239 on Twitter. Easy to spell if you know how to spell Nigel and Kent, which I'm assuming if you're from the UK, you're going to have an easier time with that than you would if you were from the States.
Or if you're a Star Wars fan. Superman with the Star Wars. What
You mean
the
Clark
fuck?
Kent? Clark Kent, yeah.
Clark Kent.
So, Palm Bay. First responders say a man is in stable condition in the hospital after being struck by lightning. Officials said the man was hit in the chest in the area of Quayle Street on Monday. I don't know where that's at. Manny Shankman is speaking exclusively to Fox 35 News after learning the man he performed CPR on is alive and alert after being struck by lightning. Shankman said he was driving when his girlfriend saw a lightning strike on a neighbor's lawn. She saw the lightning strike and turned around and looked at the mirror, and there was a guy laying on the ground, a landscaping guy, Shankman said. He said he and his girlfriend got out of the car to help. I got out, he was unresponsive, and I started doing CPR on him and had Amy call paramedics, and they walked us through it and did a great job, Shankman said. Officials say the victim is recovering and talking again. So That's pretty cool. What a bummer, though. I mean, can you imagine? Like, it's got to be like, you probably have no idea what actually happened.
Just he's super lucky. Holy crap.
You know what's going to take?
And to be like hit in the chest. That's just like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
And now I have ACDC, like, thunderstruck.
Yeah.
You've been struck.
Yeah. I'm glad the guy's okay.
I am
I hope
too.
that he doesn't have any, I don't hear a whole lot about brain damage from lightning strikes?
No. I hear it turns your hair gray, though.
Well, anything cardiac turns your hair gray. Why are you looking at me like that? Anyway, you're going to need a little bit of thunder if you're going to be able to defeat me in True Factor Bullcrap tonight.
Oh,
Jazmine.
yes. And we have the trophies.
We got the trophies, and only one trophy is going home with its winner tonight.
That's true.
So the way True Factor Bullcrap works, it's a game we play where we each make a statement of fact, and don't look at my screen.
I'm not.
I have to zoom this crap out. She's trying to cheat, man.
I'm not. Dude,
Ladies and gentlemen and assholes, Jazmine Starr just looked at my
I
screen.
can't even read that.
I'm officially not on IGTV anymore. Hello, goodbye, IGTV. But True Factor Bullcrap, the object of the game is to see through the lies or recognize the truths of your opponent. And the way we do that is by stating statements of fact. They're either true or false. Mm-hmm. And it's the job of our opponent to say whether or not they're true or false. Each correct answer results in 1 point. And at the end of the event, we have a guess as to what each participant's theme is, because all of our statements have a theme that relates together.
Yes.
At the end of the day, the winner gets one of these or one of these. So, as is our tradition, ladies first.
Nigel, the first city to be lit electrically was in Richmond, Virginia.
The first city to be lit electrically?
Electrically was in Richmond, Virginia.
Oh boy, I should really know this. Be lit electrically. Bullcrap.
Any guess?
That's not part of the game.
Okay. That's correct. It is bullcrap.
Do I get extra points if I name the city correctly?
Sure.
Do I get a point subtracted if I name the city wrong?
No. No, you'll get an attaboy.
Well, it had to be Edison, which means it was probably someplace a little closer to the northeast or a more industrial place than Richmond, Virginia. But I don't think it was New York.
You're trying to stare in my eyes.
Yeah. Maybe it was New York.
No.
No. Okay, good thing that doesn't count.
The first city was Cleveland.
Well, yeah, I mean,
in 1879.
No kidding. All right.
Yeah.
Oh boy, I think I know what your theme is.
From one response, you think you know what my theme is.
Last episode that we did True Factor Bullcrap, I totally knew your theme right from the get-go. Mm. And then you were like, no, it's weird facts from movies.
Okay.
I'm like, no, it's movies. You're like, right. No, it's weird facts from movies. I'm
okay.
Like, okay. All right. Cleveland, yeah, great city. I like to refer to Cleveland as the best city on the planet.
So I hear.
All right. True Factor Bullcrap. The number of cryptid subjects we have covered on Trouble in Paradise since the beginning is 3.
Bullcrap.
True fact. So I would like
Swamp ape.
Okay.
Dogman.
Yep.
What's the third?
Florida squallies.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Florida squallies.
Yes, the Florida squallies are the third cryptid subject that have been covered on Trouble in Paradise since the get-go.
And how is that different from swamp ape?
Okay, the squallies are a tribe of pig-like creatures that are said to live in the rural estates east of Naples. That's completely different than swamp ape. Swamp ape is a orangutan-like creature.
Who did you talk to this with?
Well, this has been covered on Trouble in Paradise in past episodes.
One of which I was not on, and then... Okay.
Oh boy, here we go. It's game on. So I actually think I have the lead right now. If I'm not mistaken. There's still
Nigel.
a lightning strike on the screen, and that means that Nigel has the lead. Uh-oh, she's pissed. Look at her. She's shifting.
Nigel, the first rock concert was held in none other than Detroit, Michigan.
Not true at all. Bullcrap. It was held in Cleveland. The Moondog Coronation Ball.
Boom. Yes, it was.
Don't challenge me on this.
100%. Yeah, you got that. Cleveland.
I couldn't tell you what year, though. It was late 50s, early 60s?
I don't have the year, but do you know the DJ that coined the term rock and roll?
He was also Cleveland-based. And no, I do not. I don't remember.
Alan Freed.
Alan Freed. That's
yeah,
right.
and he's the one that put together that concert,
The
Moondog Coronation Ball.
And that's why the Cleveland Cavaliers mascot's name is Moondog. Boom. Bonus points. I think I know your theme. You tried to throw me with the Detroit thing. We got 3 questions to go, right?
Yes.
Ooh, man. I need to get a can of whoop ass opened up. I'm going to have some of this water instead. Okay. True fact or bullcrap, Jasmine Star. The first episode or pilot episode of Trouble in Paradise was so terrible that I wouldn't post it anywhere.
Bullcrap.
True fact. It was actually so awful, I wasn't upset when I deleted it. I don't even have any notes from it. I have no idea what was discussed on that episode, but it was terrible. And so it's in the dustbin of history. Your turn. Wait a minute. After 2 rounds, what's the score right now?
Nigel 2, Jazmine 0.
Ooh, it's a good thing you have a series lead of like 8-0 or something like that.
Nigel.
She's going to catch up and beat me.
Playhouse Square is the largest performing arts center outside of the Big Apple.
True.
That is true.
Yeah, absolutely. There's 5 large theaters and 1 small one. There's also the Cleveland Players, which is on the other side of town. So Cleveland actually has 7 or 8 Broadway-sized stages within the city limits, and they're all within about a 15-minute drive of each other. I have seen The Lion King at Playhouse Square. I have seen Les Miserables at Playhouse Square. I saw Jim Gaffigan at Playhouse Square. I've performed at Playhouse Square. I saw a one-man show at Playhouse Square. That was so. Yeah, true fact, absolutely. And I definitely know your theme now. You know I love Cleveland, so. My turn?
Yes.
Over the first 30 episodes of Trouble in Paradise, a total of 7 different people have appeared on the show. This is going to require some thinking music.
I'm going to go with Bullcrap.
True fact. Nigel, Jazmine, Gabby, Scooter McGavin, Sadie Marshall, Ronan James, and Darren Aquino. 7 people. Oh, this is turning into a bloodbath.
This is
We may not even finish this
terrible.
episode. What's the score right now?
Just stop.
Okay. All right, there's still a chance. There's still a chance if I get your theme wrong and
Please.
and you win out the last 2. And you get both yours right and I get them both wrong. And you guess the theme and I get mine wrong. Then we'll tie. I've been waiting for this for months, Jasmine.
Well,
You picked this softball subject and then just tossed it to me. And I'm like, come on, really?
Well, you needed it. Idaho was the first place that mass-produced potato chips. Cleveland was the second.
Oh, wow. Okay, this is not one that I'm familiar with. I know Idaho agriculturally produces quite a bit of potatoes. And, of course, Cleveland produces none. Interesting, though, that you would mix your metaphors a little bit in that Idaho is a state, Cleveland is a city. So I'm going to go ahead and, what was it again?
Idaho was the first place that mass-produced potato chips.
What was the second part?
Cleveland was the second.
Bullcrap.
It is Bullcrap.
Oh no, it's getting ugly. So
Cleveland,
in addition to being the birthplace of rock and roll,
was the first place to mass produce potato chips.
Oh wow! Any more detail on that?
Nope. What's my next one?
Okay, we got to get through this fast, man. It's getting ugly. It's getting mean. The theme music for our show is a demo of a song composed for the Cleveland band Pout. That got cut from their second album.
True fact.
Bullcrap. The theme music was actually recorded after Pout disbanded in Florida. Moving on. Don't be mad. Hey, do you still like making a podcast with me?
Lifesavers were invented in Cleveland.
You mean the candy?
Yeah, the candy.
Oh, she has got some sass. Lifesavers, the candy, were invented in Cleveland. Oh. I have never heard of that before, so I'm going to say bullcrap.
That is a true fact.
Oh, you just ruined my streak.
Thank God. At least
Something finally went right.
something finally
Lifesavers were invented in Cleveland,
did
Ohio.
not know about Cleveland.
Okay.
Lifesavers were invented in Cleveland by a man named Clarence Crane. He used a machine that pharmacists use to make round, flat pills, punched a hole in the center of the candy concoction, and called it a lifesaver.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
It's an interesting little fact there.
It is an interesting little fact. Did he sell them at pharmacies too? Like, it's pretty much just sugar, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Lifesavers are pretty good.
Yeah. But, I just thought it was a really cool fact, the fact that, they took something that they used in a pharmacy, and then that's what he used to punch the hole in, and then to use the term or the name lifesaver when you're using something from a pharmacy. I thought it was just like a really cool fact.
I wonder if it was designed to appeal to like the kids that went into the pharmacy with their mom or dad. Like, remember how there would be like
there's always
gumball machines everywhere?
Yeah, my grandfather was a pharmacist, and I loved going to the pharmacy. That and maybe that's my problem, because I used to always go to the print shop.
The print shop.
Yeah, because my father, being a composer arranger, was always printing music, sheet music. So
they had good candy at the print shop.
And I'd come in my big bird hat, and yes, the ones with the big, instead of the puff ball, the big plume thing on top.
Yeah, like when you were in the band. Final question. For episodes 2 and 3, there was a lot of background noise due to the use of a large fan used to cool down the room because we were using very hot photography lamps to light the studio.
Bullcrap.
True fact. We abandoned those lamps after recording the 3rd episode and eventually changed rooms to the one we're using today, which stays much cooler.
Thank you for asking me about everything.
Stuff that you actually know.
Everything about Trouble in Paradise. Pre-Jazmine.
Well, there has been nothing like Trouble in Paradise since Jazmine, ever. And
so your theme was Trouble in Paradise.
It was, yes, it was, and your theme was Cleveland.
It was. So, congratulations to Nigel. You are the official True Factor Bullcrap winner
for tonight, but you still have the overall series lead.
And it definitely, I'm
the most extra.
He is the most extra.
Listen, that was put together on a shoestring budget. I just want to tell you something about the True Factor Bullcrap situation tonight. I tried to talk Jazmine out of it, And she was like, but I already did 2 of them. And so we had 2. Fair?
Fair.
Okay. However, Jasmine still has the all-time lead. And she's
It's not how this game is played, people.
no, she's defeating me 3-2 all time. So in True Factor Bullcrap, she's beaten me 3 times, and I've only beaten her twice. Although I must say, tonight was probably the worst drubbing we've ever seen. There's
And
a Banglish word for you, drubbing.
For anybody who knows me, I am a highly competitive person. And I just took the biggest ego hit. And
oh man,
I do not feel good about this.
We may have to wrap up here pretty quick just so I can give Jasmine a hug, which I refuse to do on camera because I don't want any weird rumors to get started.
No.
Although Jasmine is pretty awesome. And I got to tell you, she's a great, great woman. She's a beautiful woman, as you all know, with a svelte voice. Svelte. That's not Banglish.
No, and I know what that word means.
All right. So once again, Tipcast239 on Twitter, Trouble239 everywhere else, YouTube, Stitcher, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. What am I missing? I don't know. Somebody called Podchaser found us on Twitter and started tagging us and stuff. So check them out.
Yeah.
To everybody that follows us, thank you very much for hanging out. And we will see you very soon. I will see you in just a minute. Stay out of trouble, everybody.
Yep. Turn that thing off.
How do you turn this thing off?